So that creates a challenge in terms of trying to make sure that they're being, now they're having to respond to those kinds of needs as opposed to the preventative types of things that they would like to be doing so that they would prevent people from falling into hard times. And finally, the challenge that, or the effect that this is having on the agencies as they're trying to meet their various needs, and as agencies are working, we found that there are more overtime hours. They're trying to do more with the same kind of staff, relying more on volunteers and those sort of things. And workers in the sector are caught in that squeeze. That squeeze of increased service demands and falling revenues, or they're fairly stable, but given the change in the kind of people that they're seeing, it's taking a toll on their agency staff. So you're having agencies reporting decreased employee morale, rising stress levels, and increased incidents of burnout. And of course, this doesn't help us as we try to serve our struggling communities, as we try to support those workers or displaced workers in our communities and make our communities a better place to live. So I think, so that's on the agency side. From the funder side, we found that many funders were talking about falling revenues. About a third of the funders had less revenue available for granting purposes in 2010 compared to 2008, which was prior to the recession. And we've also found that there were more requests for funding, which doesn't really come as a surprise, but the funders were able to actually report that back to us. 40% of funders who experienced an increased number of requests had that experience, that request over the past two years. So the increases there, they're not seeing though necessarily their revenues increasing. So that's a challenge, trying to meet the need when they're not seeing their revenues increasing. And so most of the funders say that the recession has hurt some of their fundraising efforts. At least somewhat. Some of we had about 1 in 5 that said it hurt their fundraising a great deal, because particularly I think foundations we found that rely on endowments and such that we have had some foundations that are not, that were at least in the past year not doing any granting programs because of their revenue shortfalls, and so we're seeing that impact occur across the funders